Here we are going to discuss this question based on cost. Question number 1. It says the fixed cost, abbreviated FC. F for fixed and C for cost, for the production of an electronic device is $1,507. Now it goes on to say the cost to make each device, okay? So each particular device is given by VC. So V for variable and C for cost. VC of Q, Q for the quantity of the devices. So the variable there is the quantity. So this is variable cost in terms of quantity. So VC of Q is equal to 3 times Q raised to the third power minus 10 times Q raised to the second power plus 2Q. So part A says to derive the total cost function, T for total and C for cost in terms of Q. That's TC of Q. And B says to determine the total cost for the production of 20 devices. So in the solution, we are going to deal with the first part of the question, part A, to derive the total cost function, TC of Q. And for that, we're going to rely on some information. And it says the total cost function is a mathematical expression that calculates a business's total expenses for producing a certain number of units. It is the sum of the total fixed cost. Okay, so the key term here is fixed cost. So you have to total the fixed cost and the variable cost. Okay, so you have total fixed cost and total variable cost. Okay, or just say fixed cost and variable cost, which can be represented by the formula cost on a whole, or total cost, if you want to put it that way, is equal to the fixed cost plus the variable cost, where C of X is the total cost, F is the total fixed cost, and V is the variable cost per unit, and X is the number of units produced. So the number of units produced in our example is Q. So as you can see in the solution, based on this information, we identify the fixed cost, the total fixed cost, which is 1,507, and the variable cost, VC of Q, which is 3 times Q raised to the third power minus 10 times Q raised to the second power plus 2Q. So we must add these two expressions. So the total cost in terms of Q is equal to the variable cost, as you can see, which is 3Q raised to the third power minus 10Q squared plus 2Q plus the fixed cost, 1,507. So this is the solution for part A. This is the total cost function. So let's move on to part B. We need now to determine the total cost for the production of 20 items. Right. So to determine the total cost for the production of 20 devices, you can substitute Q is equal to 20 into the total cost function and then evaluate. So here we bring forward the total cost function, 3Q raised to the first power minus 10Q raised to the second power plus 2Q plus 1,507. In the place of Q, we're going to substitute 20 because here we say Q is equal to 20. So we have 3 times 20 cubed minus 10 times 20 squared plus 2 times 20 plus 1,507. And you can prove this in your calculator to see if you get 21,507. So therefore, the total cost for the production of 20 devices is $21,507. And bear in mind, anytime you are looking at a math video, you must participate with the video. So please practice this in your practice book using your calculators, your pen, pencil, and your practice book.